This guy is in big trouble. His name is Chris Watts. He had a wife who loved him, two little girls, a nice house, and another baby on the way. But somehow that wasn't enough for him. Now, back in 2018, Shanann Watts seemed to have a life many people dreamt of. She lived in Colorado with her husband Chris and their two daughters, Bella and Celeste, and she was also expecting a third child. From the outside, the family looked perfect, but appearance can be misleading. Because Chris had started dating a woman he met at work, and the more his relationship with her grew stronger, the more he saw his family as a threat. So one night, Shannon returned home from a business trip in the middle of the night, and security cameras captured her walking into the house, but she never came out and was never seen alive again. A few hours later, Shannon missed an important doctor's appointment. She wasn't answering her phone, she suddenly stopped replying to messages, and that wasn't like her at all. Her close friend knew something was wrong, so she called the police. And when the officers arrived at the house, they found Shannon's car was still in the garage, her purse was inside, her phone was left behind, even the children's belongings were still there. It looked as if the family had just vanished out of nowhere. When people heard that she was missing, reporters and cameras quickly filled the neighborhood. Chris stood in front of all these people asking for his wife and daughters to come home. In front of all these people, he acted like a terrified husband, but detectives were not buying it. Why? Because something about his behavior didn't match someone whose entire family has just disappeared. He seemed unusually calm and his timeline kept changing. And then investigators found surveillance footage from a neighbor's security camera. The video didn't clearly show what happened, but however, what detectives saw changed the investigation completely. From that moment forward, the search for a missing family became something else. Because investigators confronted Chris again, and this time the pressure was too much on him. His story began to fall apart, and eventually Chris admitted that night after Shannon came back home, they had a heated argument that led him to taking her life inside their house. Then he put her body inside his car trunk together with his two daughters seated at the back seat and drove to a remote oil site where he worked. And there he slayed his two daughters and buried them together with their mother. Investigators went to that location and recovered 3 bodies matching to his wife and 2 daughters. Everybody was shocked, not because the killer was a stranger, but because he deceived everybody into believing he was looking for his family while he knew what he has already done to them. And today, Chris is serving multiple life sentences in prison without any possibility of parole. So here's a question. What do you think he should have done differently rather than taking the life of his family?